So we're going to pick up right where we left off. I know normally with the interludes we skip ahead a fair bit, but given the scope of this fight and how it all went down, I was thinking about this, and I mentioned that JJ's body fell about, I think it was 1.5 miles, 2 miles from where you all were, and I really wanted to give you, or even if it's just Callista, but I wanted to give you all the opportunity to go and investigate and speak with JJ, just to go over there if you want to. Now, you all don't have to go. You all can go. Only one of you, like, it's really up to you. I know Callista's going to want to go, but, you know, does anyone else want to go with Callista? Or, Callista, do you want anyone to go with you?
Like, me as Lucy, like, I don't care either way. I think Callista would honestly just start going.
Okay.
And whether or not anyone follows her, it's up to
Sure.
them. Like, she's not gonna voice it either way, so.
Okay. So Capri has just announced the winner of the Fractal Hunt, or the survivors. And yes, Pretty Cure Mendoza would be a survivor, much like Eustace, but not a winner, as he was taken out. Technically speaking, Jericho was temporarily taken out, but was not considered out of the Fractal Hunt. As a result, Jericho Branch is the sole survivor. But yes, as he's doing that, you are immediately kind of going, and Capri stops and kind of tails after you. Do the rest of you go, or do some of you want to stay?
Jericho would go.
Okay.
Jimmy will go as well.
Fala will follow.
Flebs will go.
All right. Victor, I'm guessing you're happy to join him?
Yep.
Okay. You all go out towards a clearing where you see a smoldering crater. And around it in various spots is the Antikythera group. Wendy is asleep near the top of the crater. Shoujo and I forget which other one it was. Shoujo and Karen are attending to her. Chernabog and Billabog are just kind of like talking amongst themselves and pointing at the body in the crater. Azathoth is standing at the top with his back to you, smoking. And as you look down, you see Tiamat and Rat King are standing over JJ's body.
I think for Callista personally, like, she was kind of starting to go into it, like, you know, what if he's not dead? What if there's another thing? What if, like, you know, what if the battle's not over yet?
Okay.
Sort of situation. But when she sees the Antikythera unit there, I think she kind of calms down a little bit, just because, you know, there's other people to witness. I guess, like, whatever happens next, like, it's not just her going into it by herself. And then, of course, you know, with the rest of the detectives behind her, but I think she would still be approaching the body with, like, caution, though. Like, she hasn't shifted back from her eldritch form yet.
Okay. As you get up to the top of the crater, Azathoth is just beside you. And he takes a deep drag on the cigarette and says, looks like the mission's done. How do you feel, kid?
Is it really done?
Chernabog and Billabog look up, and one of them dips over to you and is peeking out between Jimmy's legs. How's that? All right, yeah, you bloody mollywopped him. Aye, yeah, he's absolutely no going back from that. He looks like a crispy piece of bacon, but you left it in the oven too long. And he zips back to his sibling. And Azathoth says, "Yeah, that last attack. Oof. Let me tell you, don't piss off Endicott, huh? But we had a separate mission, and looks like Rat King and Tiamat are nearly done. So if you don't mind, they're gonna finish up, and we'll give you your moment before we go and make our report."
Is that where they've been all this time?
Rat King... Yeah, Rat King had a separate mission he had to take care of. Tiamat, not so much. But that's on a need-to-know basis. Still, look at the rest of you. Damn near pulled it off. Gotta say, off the record, damn impressed. And he just takes another drag of the cigarette. And, I think it's up to you guys now what you want to do.
Fala wants to ask, but, on the record then, did we pass your little test or inspection, whatever this was?
Roll Manipulate Hunter with a -1. Because you know you're asking something of like a superior that is basically gonna get told to you anyway. You're just trying to be greedy.
I am being greedy. How'd you know?
How did I know?
Find it. Okay.
Suspense
And then for the,
killing
I
me.
just do like a -1. Sorry,
Yeah.
I can't find the actual manipulate a hunter one.
I mean, you could do manipulate someone. I just want to be more specific with the roll, but -1, yeah.
I don't
Okay.
know if it's a separate role.
I
think
just
it has
don't
separate
see- yeah.
consequences.
Oh, okay. That's why. Okay. I'm sitting here like, I don't see it.
Okay. He
That would have been a 10.
he takes a drag
Damn
and
it.
says, "How do you think you all did? Why don't you tell me that first?"
I mean, it was messy, but he's, like you said, crispy bacon, isn't he?
So how do you report that? What do you score yourself?
Job's done, but points deducted for flair.
So on a metric scale of 1 to 10, 1 being you didn't complete the job, 10 being you completed the job, no casualties, no damage, no problems. What's your score you give yourself and you give your teammates? He's asking you to rate everybody.
Oh, jeez.
No
Wow.
pressure.
And you got to be honest,
Uh.
and if you do that, he'll answer your question.
I mean, I know me personally definitely was an absolute mess from time to time, so I'm gonna give myself a solid 6. But this team, I mean,
Oh no,
Those
no,
are
no,
pretty incredible.
individually.
Huh?
Individually.
well
Oh,
then good.
jeez.
Yeah,
Yes.
y'all. Then a solid 6, because
Okay, so you're not
Did I-
you're not gonna do it. Okay. All right. How about you wait until the report is done and we debrief with you, huh? Unless
Fine.
someone else from your lovely group wants to evaluate their friends and teammates. I could see that being a really great bonding session right after completing a mission that nearly killed you and your friends.
that does sound like a good idea.
He looks around at all of you. He's like, anyone? No?
I'm just nosy, that's all.
You'll be debriefed in a couple days. You'll get your reports then. And he looks down and says, "Hey, Rat King, are you done?" And he's been fiddling with like the skull of JJ, what's left of it, and Tiamat is casting something, and the two of them look up, and he puts 2 fingers up. Says 2 minutes, and Azathoth says, "All right. Look, if you want to go down and get ready now, it's fine. Just don't bother them. This is been a long couple days for all of us, huh?"
You could certainly say that.
All right. So do you guys go down? What do you want to do?
Yeah, Callista will.
Yeah? Yeah. Fala likes inspecting bodies.
She sure does.
Jimmy?
Yes, Jimmy will follow Callista down, please.
Jericho?
I think Jericho would tell the group to make sure they ask any questions about the fractals that he can, but he would probably want to go back to the big top to see Kruger's body, and if Endicott's there, talk to him.
Okay. Yeah, Endicott didn't come with you, so that's fine. Okay, so you're going to go off. You're going to go back.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem. Flebs, Victor?
I'll tag along. I'll tag along too.
Okay. All right. Jericho, we'll do your scene in a minute. So you guys, the rest of you guys go down. Do any of you ask or like Rat King or Tiamat anything, or do you intervene, or are you happy to watch?
Just watch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, just watch, please.
For now, get some information about what they're doing by observing.
Okay. So you want to? So is anyone want to actively observe, or are you like to investigate, or are you just happy to passively watch and not delve deeper?
I think Fala would be more investigating and watching very specifically what he's doing to the body.
All right. So you're gonna roll for the group. So yeah, go ahead. Because I wanted to make sure I asked that so you have the agency, but alright. So, Fala, with your knowledge of technology and what you know of, like, magic, which is not a lot, but Rat King, what Rat King is doing is significantly more understandable to you. And it kind of surprises you, because Rat King is using technology that is not available in this time period. At least from what you know. Which would imply that Rat King is either using things he has procured and made himself, or he has taken these from somewhere. Which is neither here nor there, but he's a very clearly an intelligent man. He is using a soul transference device. And it is already done. Meaning that whatever is going on with JJ's desiccated body, it is completed, and it is just waiting for final approval. And when you look at Tiamat, it looks to you like she's using a stabilizing spell. Like, basically like a life support machine, with magic. And I will say it's not alarming. It's not an immediate, oh my god, it's nefarious. It's kind of like you don't know, because at the end of the day, JJ was not in a corporeal... He wasn't a corporeal form, right? He wasn't occupying a physical space. It's only at this final sort of juncture that he's been physical. Every other time you've seen him, he has been, like, untouchable. So this is definitely an unusual situation. But whatever they're doing, they are preparing to take his consciousness, shall we say, and they're either going to store it or transfer it. And Rat King sees you looking and says, a clever one. Wait, was he English or American? I can't remember. I've only done his voice once.
I kind of sinister American.
Okay, alright. A clever one. You know what I'm doing, don't you?
I do. And I just have to ask, why?
Well, my employer asked me to. And I found it scientifically interesting. This one, he doesn't occupy a physical space. Yet what are we looking at here? What do you see in front of you, Doctor?
A body.
How can there be a body if there wasn't one previously?
That is a good question.
Yes. And when we transfer it out, we're hoping we'll have an answer to that. And our employer will find a good use for him. He will be kept away from
A good
everybody
use
else.
for him.
Not a practical one. More a, take apart and see what ticks kind.
Ah, okay. That kind I like. Carry on.
I'm right there with you. Okay. Anyone else?
So, just to be perfectly clear, we won't be seeing JJ around here again, right?
Oh, I wouldn't imagine so, no. And if you did, I think he'd rather be dead.
Then that's all I care about.
It's the most we can hope for after this mess.
Well, how about this? When we debrief you, we'll bring his consciousness along, just so you have long enough to have a conversation with him before he's taken away to the ninth circle of hell. You can ask any questions then. Consider it a courtesy, as long as you don't mind me taking notes.
All right.
Callista?
I'm sure a few days will give me enough time to figure out what I'm even gonna say to him.
Okay. Fair enough. Do you say anything else before you guys watch what's going on?
I think Callista is gonna actually go back, to check on Faye.
Okay.
So I think once she's confirmed that JJ is being dealt with and no longer a threat to them, she just kind of in her head moves on to the next thing, which is
Of course. She just leaves.
like, yeah, she's very she's in a very particular mindset at
Yeah,
the moment. She's
yeah.
just kind of carrying stuff out. So she's gonna go check on Faye and make sure that Faye's okay.
And the rest of you stay as to finish this process.
Yes.
Okay.
Can Fala actually go the same direction that Jericho went, but not like catch up with him? Just kind of.
Yeah, you can trail behind. Yeah.
Yeah,
You'll get
yeah.
there at the
Yeah,
end
that's
of
sort
his.
where I'm-
Okay. You guys who are staying behind, you watch Tiamat as her eyes roll on the back of her head and her skin begins to be covered in these runes. And she starts chanting. And after a moment, what is left of this body begins to do exactly what the concierge's body did. What the other void's bodies have done. It crumbles over and it starts to turn to dust. And a light within the body arcs out and then goes into a small rectangle style cube. I guess it's like it's more of a cube actually. It goes into this like little cube that Rat King has available with a pump next to it. And the pump goes down into a backpack. And the light is transferred over. Jericho, you go back to the big top. And you see Endicott sitting in front of Kruger. He's cross-legged. His robe is actually down, like he's just wearing like his like a white shirt with a pendant and some overalls. He's taken his cloak off, and he is just staring at Kruger. And through one of the canopy holes, it just has a beautiful bit of light shining down the two of them.
Jericho will approach them just as close as he can, and then try catch Endicott's attention by asking if there's room for another perk.
Always, my boy. Always welcome. I was just telling Kruger what the long journey looks like.
I'm sorry for not being able to keep up my end of the promise I made to you back at the park. Back when we first saw Kruger in the upheaval. After
Jericho, you are nothing if not kind. Almost to a fault. You will take on any challenge and agree to any deal, even if you know it is borderline impossible. That is what makes you, you. It is your greatest strength and your greatest weakness. And I wouldn't change it for you. But Kruger, going down this long, winding road, well, that's not your fault. He was told that if he did as was asked of him, his sponsor would spare his father, would spare you, and Nish, and me, and would spare Sturgeon.
He seemed rather content in the path he was going down. I'm not gonna say that makes me feel better that I couldn't change his mind, but at the end of it all, seeing him there, and I can at least know that he would be proud of the choice that he made in the end. That if he died, he would die for something that he believed in. It just feels bad when it's by your hands, you know? When it's another one of your family members.
Jericho, do you trust me?
With my life.
Okay. Give me your hand.
Jericho extends his still flesh and blood arm.
Mm-hmm. You know, the thing about trust is many people don't fully buy in. They say they do, but there are very few that can say they trust with their lives. That is a bond. And that bond is hard, very, very hard to find. And I find that it's special. It's something that should be maintained, and you trusted me. You trusted to give me back the first fractal. And do you know one of the things about being the first fractal? Well, sometimes we are able to do things beyond human limitations. And I know that Kruger had a deal with a sponsor. A fate. But if you ask me, Jericho, there have been too many losses, too many funerals, and too many burials. So I say, and he takes a part of your fractal ability into himself, and his eyes glow gold. And he says, fuck the fates. And that light transfers through him and into Kruger, who immediately snaps up and starts breathing heavily. Panic striking his face. And he looks around as you both kind of stare back at him, you more than Endicott, dumbfounded. And he looks down at the hole in his body and says, "Oh, fuck." And he passes out.
Jericho, like, for a moment after watching Cougar pass back out and looking at Endicott, would just not even ask, kind of just make the noise. What? Huh?
Endicott gets up and he bubbles Kruger. He looks a little bit taller than he usually used to, Endicott. He's walking a little bit more purposefully. And that gold light is still within him, and he says, that's my way of saying I'm sorry. Both for keeping this from you and for what is to come. I'm going to take our dear friend over to the medical facility. He's going to need some recovery time. And I imagine he is not going to be very happy with his actions. But since I just gave you one of your family members back, I figure you'll understand. Perhaps you and Nishandra can give him some chocolates.
He's your family too, old man. Wait. Thank you again for everything.
He smiles when you say he's your family too, and he says, yes. I suppose in a way, you all are.
I'll also, like, teleport, like, to the facility. Don't, like, walk around. I think Ballista's still here somewhere.
He's about to leave, and he says, Jericho, you and I need to have in fact, all of the nightmare detectives need to have a conversation. But, I will be going away soon, and I'd like to see you all before that happens.
I understand that. And for what it's worth, I know every last one would like to see you before anything else happens.
Oh, and bring Tiamat if you could. I think it would be important for her to be there. And he, with Kruger bubbled, he teleports away.
There goes. While staying there by himself, Jericho will kind of have a little more of internal thinking, just like to himself, nod his head a couple times and say, well, all right. I need a vacation. He'll start walking like back towards the Nightmare Detectives.
Yeah, and Fala, you came in right as Endicott was just saying goodbye. What did you want to do? Fala?
Sorry about that. My computer was being weird. I'm here now.
It's okay.
How much of that did Fala hear? Did she get a chance? Like, did she hear everything? Or...
No. I think she probably heard just the very back end of it.
Okay. I think for now, Fala will just kind of approach and stand next to Jericho, but not really say a whole lot because that was a lot for him. And just if you ever do need to talk to anybody, you know, I'm here, but mostly try not to be weird about it.
After like a moment, Jericho will smile at her, like take his hat off. He'll put it on her head and say, let's go find the others.
Okay. I'm keeping this hat.
You will not be keeping my hat.
Jericho Branch here. It's my hat now. Let's go.
Okay.
And lastly, before we move to the interlude part, Lucy, you wanted to move over and speak to Fala. Not Fala, Faye. Sorry.
Yeah, because the last we saw each other was in the battle, and she crashed into a pillar. So I want to make sure she's okay.
She is. She has basically, got herself out of it. She's pretty beaten up. But she is managing. She's kind of sitting on the outside now. She's just kind of nursing some injuries. Sitting on the embankment.
Okay. I think Callista will, again, sort of approach a little bit with caution. But before she can get too close to her, because she doesn't really want to sneak up on her too much, she would say, how are you doing?
A lot of pain. Mentally and physically. Yeah, there's a lot I need to go through in my own head. And, for what it's worth, I'm sorry I kept this from you. I was told that it was the only way.
Here. And Callista, walks closer to her and crouches down beside her and holds out a hand. And I think by now she's, once she saw Faye in the distance, she probably shifted back into human form if she can. And so she holds out a hand to her and says, I can help with one of those things.
Aww. So you're looking to do your healing move?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Because Eustace healed me right at the end, so I'm good now. I want to, like, take some of that from her.
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess... I don't really roll for it, I just take a couple.
Okay.
I take enough harm that I'm not unstable, but, like, I
Okay.
just want to take some of it off of her.
Yeah, sure.
So when she takes my hand, basically the way that I imagine it is, like, the eldritch energy kind of, like, passes through into her forearm for a second before disappearing, and then, like, some of her injuries fade away and kind of just reappear on Callista.
Yeah, that's a pretty. I like that. I like that.
Okay.
All right, yeah, give me the roll, and we will resolve the background issue in a minute, gang. Just bear with me.
I don't think.
Do you not need to do it? You just add the harm.
I just add the harm. Yeah.
Okay. Add 4, like 3 or 4 harm. I want to overload. I don't want to overload you.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Yeah, she kind of watches in amazement and says, you know, every time I see that, it always amazes me. And she looks kind of sheepish and says, you're not gonna ask why I did this? Who told me? You're not gonna get mad at me?
I would like to know, but let's just say that I have been in that sort of position many times before, and have done a lot worse things because of it. So you can tell me if you want to, but my main goal here was to bring you back safely. Is that still something you want?
Yeah. I just think we have a lot to talk about. You know?
Of course. But in your own time.
I think you guys just have an understanding. And from here, you will go back and you begin your debriefing with Nell. And the pieces of Sturgeon that were destroyed begin to get fixed and put back together. And I'm going to say 2 days passes. And that is where we'll pick everything back up. So we pick things back up. You are I'm gonna say, just for the sake of like how much we have to go through, you've had your debrief with Nell. We'll play that scene out at some point today or the next session. You're all in separate places at this point. You all have things you want to do. There are things that it's almost going to be like a Trails game or a Persona game. There are side quests and mandatory things you have to do to move the story forward. So we're gonna kind of divvy these up a little bit. Luce, if you could just copy and paste the list of things, either to me if they're spoilers for everyone else, or in the Hunters chat. But because you have so much, I'm gonna let you choose what you, or if you want to suggest to the group, does first.
Oh God. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just scanning my list really quick. Some of these have already got readjusted. Some of them have already been adjusted. I mean, I think, okay, just off the top of my head, I think I need to... I'm assuming 2 days from now, like, Faye has already been brought back and everything like that.
Yeah, Faye was reunited with Muldoon. She has been evaluated over at St. Martin's. She is currently staying there, and that's where Muldoon is. Actually, you know what? Let me go through what's... Yeah, that's probably a good idea, actually. Bad DMing on my part. The Antikythera group is waiting to give their report. You will need to go to the Sturgeon Disaster Unit over at St. Martin's University. They will be there with Muldoon. That's a mandatory piece, so we'll do that separately. Endicott has asked to see all of you and to bring Tiamat. The building, the Nightmare Detectives building, is still being refurbished. It's going to take a while. So some of the stuff has been patched up, but it is pretty bare bones. Nell is banged up. She's getting there. Wendy is on bed rest. As is quite a few other people. There are some people you haven't seen yet. And you haven't been back to the Haven yet either. Just because of how busy everything was. So there are some individuals that you just haven't seen due to, you know, how crazy everything had been. And people are still not really in Sturgeon. There's a lot of people that haven't come back. There are people that feel uncomfortable coming back. OF Province has also asked to get an interview from you for the Sturgeon Nexus.
Okay. Well, I think the...
And Callista, you also have an invitation, but it is just for you. And it is to meet on the Golgothan Bridge at midnight.
Okay. Well, that's intriguing. Yeah, I think one of the first things that I need to do is check on Ramael and probably even before that, talk to Lady Death about him.
Okay.
Because I told him I would do that, and I still want to do that.
Okay.
And try to figure that whole situation out. So I think after seeing to it that Faye, you know, has been sent off and is going to be looked after, I think that would be the next thing that Callista does. Is probably try to, again, talk to Lady Death about Ramael.
Okay. All right, so you're going to go over there now. That's the first thing you want to do?
Yeah, I would imagine that would be before this mysterious bridge meeting.
Okay. Yeah, I imagine that's going to come later. So you're in your room. You've taken some time to relax, and you go over. And, yeah, you're in the garden at the end of the world. Lady Death was waiting for you. She's got two recliner chairs, some pink lemonade, and she's wearing a nice sundress with little Grim Reapers all over the patterns.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah. And she's still got her hood on, but like it's like cascading down her back. It's like a hood with like a little cape draped around the shoulders. And she says, "Hello, Callista. I thought after our last meeting that maybe it should be a little bit more relaxed, especially given the conversation."
Surprisingly enough, I'm actually not here to talk about that.
Oh, right. Well, take a seat anyway, and try the pink lemonade. I made it myself.
Callista kind of looks over it for a second and then slowly takes a seat and takes the glass. And she looks over at Lady Death and she says, I kind of expected you to be more on edge, though, just after the last time. Does this not concern you anymore?
She takes a long sip from the pink lemonade and says, "Oh, no, it does. But, I mean, I'm death, Callista. You can't fight me. You can try and cheat me. You could delay me, but I'm there. I always arrive. Do what I do. So I know what it's like to come face to face with something you can't stop. And this is one of those times. Everything's about to change for you. For all of you. And for me as well. Nothing more to do now, but she holds up the drink and the little glass clinks as a galaxy overhead begins to spiral and you see a star die in front of you. It's beautiful. This huge supernova goes hypernova. The reds turn into these impossibly beautiful blues before it goes white and it explodes and it's gone. And she says, wait and see.
Yes. I suppose you're right. But in the meantime, I wanted to talk to you about my brother.
Ah, Ramael.
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead.
He has fallen, like I did. But I'm afraid that he has nothing to reach out for, like I did. And I'm afraid that I'm going to lose him because of that. I know that you have already done so much for me. There's not much more that I can ask of you. But I just wanted to see if there was anything that could be done for him.
Roll manipulate someone. With a +1. Because obviously your relationship with Lady Death. Oh, I've been logged out. Interesting.
Oh no.
That's okay.
Okay, well I got an 8.
Okay.
I can roll for some people, but not for everyone.
Yeah, for listeners at home, Roll20 is currently having some problems. That's okay. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, it's kicked me out. Okay. That's very interesting. Wow, kicking out the DM. Rude, Roll20.
Yeah, that is
Rude.
really rude.
Of all the people, that's
the
the
nerve.
rudest.
The nerve of this program.
I have access
Callista,
to
Jericho,
some
and I
people's
just look so
character sheets,
lonely
but-
in here.
I know.
That's okay. She says, well, you know how this goes, Callista. I could do it, but you're gonna have to give something up.
All right.
Good
what
girl.
can I offer you?
You don't need to this time. The truth is, She gives you a sad smile. I'm going on holiday. And I don't know when I'll be back. So Ramael can take my place.
What?
Callista, I defied the fates. I hid you. I tried to deceive them. And you made a deal with them. And you kind of changed things for the better, but they don't like that. And you think back to what Faye said about how she was told this is what she had to do. She had a sponsor. And you think about what Kruger said. And you remember what what Jericho said. And she says, it seems like someone's been looking out for you, but at the expense of the All-Mother's patience. And someone has to pay the price for that. And I can't tell you what's going to happen next. But I won't be there for it. And you're going to be very scared. And you're going to be very lonely. But I wouldn't go as peacefully as I am if I didn't think you could handle it. Look at you. When I found you, you were heartbroken. You didn't know up from down. And, okay, yes, sometimes you might still get those time periods a little bit confused. It's part of being old, I suppose. But I told you to love and be loved. And she waves a hand, and a series of squares comes up. The first on the left is a large pillar-sized Capri ferrying a baby Callista. Next to it is Ramael and Michael and your other guardians looking after baby Callista as she's running around and having what she's pure joy. Next to that is you fighting side by side with Michael, Ramael, and Zephaniah. Next to that is you and Paula. Next to that is you laughing with the Nightmare Detectives. Next to that is Jericho's birthday party. And next to that is you spending time with Officer Muldoon and Faye. And the last one... the last one's Margot. And Callista, you remember who that is. And Lady Death says, I had to give you a parting gift. And I wanted to make sure that you understood the importance of a bond, the importance of a collection, and the importance of love. I'll see you again. You will always be my kin, and I will always love you.
Callista's just like staring at these images that have come up. Particularly, lingering on Margot, because I'm assuming if she remembers her, she also remembers that she forgot her temporarily.
Mm-hmm.
So she's just kind of in shock for a second, but then she looks back at Lady Death, and her eyes are glossy, like filling with tears, and she says, These are only the parts that I can remember. And one of them I had forgotten until just now. I'm not actually that much better off than I was when I came to you the first time. I'm losing control again. And possibly even I never had it in the first place. I don't know what to do now. I don't I don't know how to keep going knowing that whatever I build, I will have to destroy. If you leave, my lady, I mean... You were at one time the only one who could guide me. I don't know how to do that without you.
You will find your way. I believe in you. And it seems that my replacement believes in you too. And one of the squares changes, and it shows Ramael stepping in for Jimmy to temporarily take Baal. And she says, at the end of everything, when there is a fork in the road, I will be there again. But until then, well, there's only one thing left to say. And she begins to fade as she, one last time, puts her head against yours. And she says, what would Callista do? And you wake up in your room.
Yeah, I imagine Callista, like, sitting up, and she has, like, tears running down her cheeks. And, she just, like, looks out at her room for a second. And she just says, I don't know.
Nice. Okay. We're going to jump over to... Let's jump over to Jimmy.
Okay.
What do you want to do first?
I'd like to take the time to talk to Tracy if I could.
Okay. And how do you want to do that?
I was picturing it kind of like in a dream thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like where she doesn't answer anything, she's just there, and I can just kind of talk to her. And maybe you know, I don't know. It's weird, but that's how I'm envisioning it right now.
I got an idea. It is the late afternoon. You've been taking a siesta in your room, and you get a knock at the door, and it is from Tiamat, and she says, "What was her voice? British, wasn't it? It was British." She says, "I'm terribly sorry to be bothering you. It looks like you're very busy, but... Well, I wanted to do you a favor. It's my understanding that you've had some unfortunate run-ins with the Sturgeon Hunting Club."
That's right.
"And they treated you like an animal, degraded you, humiliated you, and nearly killed you.
You are correct.
I know a thing or two about them, and in time, perhaps we can talk about that. But as someone who understands what it's like to be treated like a monster, and hunted for sport for something you cannot control, I wanted to give you some respite. She hands you a charm. It's like a dream catcher. This is the memory corridor. Put this up over your bed, and when you dream, you will be able to speak to someone that is no longer here with us. But they won't be able to answer anything they wouldn't already know. I hope that gives you some comfort, James.
Thank you kindly. It does give me some measure of comfort.
Well, I'll leave you to it. We've got a meeting with Endicott later anyway. And she leaves. And when you go back to sleep, sure enough, this ability works. And you are taken to... Well, I guess, why don't you tell me where you go?
I guess back to the house we shared before.
That's what I was thinking.
Everything went bad.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a peaceful day. Is she tending to the garden, or is she inside? What's she doing?
She's just sitting on the porch, I guess, in like a chair. And I would like to approach and sit on the steps leading up to the porch.
Mm-hmm.
And without looking at her, with my head down, my dear love, it has been so difficult to navigate this world without you in it. I've tried to be the good guy you loved. I know I have strayed from this path on occasion, but I try to remember my love for you and I know that this group I am now with don't need the hero that I selfishly cast upon you. Sometimes they need the monster I can sometimes become. It is your love that allows me to control this overwhelming desire, to let the rage take control and let the beats have control. You, my darling, help keep the beast in check, but that control is slipping. My friends help a little, but it is becoming harder every passing day. So please, if there is a way for you to send help, I am in need of it. My friends need me and I need them. I know I asked much of you out of this, but always remember my love for you. And then I would like Jimmy to wake up at that point and just stare across the room at nothing.
Mm-hmm. As you do, you actually hear something on the wind. It says, rage against the dying light. Alright, Mr. Mendoza.
What is up?
We're gonna go to you. Just for a slight tonal shift here, because I realize I did say to everybody before we started this was gonna be a dark one, but yeah, boy howdy. Victor, you are at the Council of Mendozas.
One moment, I just see if I can actually log in this time.
It doesn't matter if you can't, don't worry. You have been subpoenaed
Penis.
Yeah, well, you actually responded with that, and they slapped you with another fine for for never taking things seriously, because you well, actually, you know what? You're sat there, and old Mendoza is presiding over this, and he says, "This is your problem, my guy. You don't take anything seriously."
I don't think we're programmed to take anything seriously. It's a problem, sir.
There's a version of you for everything, including me, British serious Mendoza.
Okay, then. If we're supposed to take things seriously, then what's with the flask in your pocket?
My drinking habits have nothing to do with this, Mr. CBD gummies. And you hear from all around the crowd, you hear on the crowd, they go like, "Whoa."
That's THC gummies, so you at least get it right.
I don't fucking care, nerd. And then you hear another,
Okay, just resorting to insults. I see you're taking this very seriously yourself.
Order.
Fuck you. But I will sit down.
Pretty Cure Mendoza, you have been brought here because we are concerned about the future of the Mendoza people.
Why? Mendoza land seems to be bringing in pretty decent profits.
Accountant Mendoza stands up and pushes up on his thick glasses, and he says, "Yeah, guy, it's actually record profits right now. We're eating into Disney's revenue like a son of a bitch. We have had some copyright claims from the fucking nerds who own the Pretty Cure franchise. They weren't really happy about the fact that we did that. I mean, we don't tell Bandai what we're actually hawking out here, but yeah, it's not great, guy, but we're making money. So what's the problem?" And Scientist Mendoza speaks up on this panel at the back and says, "Well, the problem is, who wants to tell him? I don't want to tell him. He's got anger problems." And then
we all have anger problems, I say.
"Hey, shut up, nerd!" I'm sorry. And then it's like everyone, you just start hearing smackings of nerd, gringo, British, and they all just start yelling at each other. And eventually the hammer comes down, and old British Mendoza says, "Victor, the Demon Minion King has been spotted near Mendoza land. And roughly 2 days ago, we got this footage." And they pull up a screen. And it shows Mendoza land thriving, happy, a couple of furries. Mostly furries, let's be honest. And in an instant, Victor, it is obliterated. Every brick of Mendoza land is just destroyed. And in its place is a dark castle with a blue and yellow color scheme. And you know immediately what this is about as the camera pans down, and what look to be, I mean, we gotta be very careful with copyright here, but minions, and you could take that whichever way you want, impaling Victor Mendoza's on spikes. The footage cuts out.
At the video and the sheer mention of the Minion King, I just say the camera does the very hard fisheye lens at me.
Yeah.
Just profuse sweating. I'm unable to mutter a single word.
Yeah.
But I make a bit of a resolve and I just say the single word. It's Patrick.
The Mendoza group mutters, and the head judge says, "Who or what is Patrick? We are all derived from you, but none of us know of this Patrick. What is the meaning of this, Victor Mendoza Prime?"
It's... How do I even explain this to the others? It's an old demon from my past. It's a man who we, in our dimension, called Patrick Bryant. He used to be quite a normal person. Some might even say he was pretty damn cool. He used to be kind of a pioneer at the field of shitposting. But unfortunately, due to time and real-world events, this man fell down an unfortunate rabbit hole that he never got out of, or seemingly never wants to get out of. He's fallen down the unfortunate hole of the alt-right, and now he seems to be taking... he seems to be... he has come up with a campaign to eradicate the rest of us.
And you proceed to explain that around a decade ago, you had a difference in opinion on what it means to be alive, a person, and you argued that you in any different state is still as valid as a person, and he didn't like that, and he then made it his mission to find every version of you and take you out and absorb a piece of your power and himself become multiversal. And at this hearing, the judge and everyone around is uncomfortable as they say, "And how long has he been hunting us? There are many Victor Mendozas unaccounted for, and now Mendoza land is gone. What does this mean?"
It means, well, first things first, he's been hunting us down for well over a decade at this point, but now that Mendoza land's been obliterated and replaced with this ugly eyesore of an abomination, it might mean that, and pardon my Spanish here, as I very much close in on British Victor Mendoza's face, I'm just like, it might mean the end of us all.
As you're getting, it's all getting pretty intense, the doors burst open, and Messenger Mendoza runs in, and he's sweating, and he has a piece of paper in his hands, which he hands to British Mendoza, who takes off his ceremonial wig, showing a very receding hairline, full of sweat, and he takes off his glasses with shaking hands and says, "Well, it looks like this is going to solve itself. Because in 3 months' time, we will be going to war." And he turns it round, and it is a decree from the Minion King, declaring that if you do not answer his challenge for Mortal Kombat in 3 months, his army will storm Sturgeon and take out every Mendoza they can. Okay, we're gonna go before we go to Flebs because I do want to do something with Flebs. We're gonna go to Jericho real quick. Because Jericho, you mentioned something you wanted to do.
Yes.
All right, what are you doing, bud?
That's my mic open for a sec. Just want to make sure like the
Yeah.
volume is being picked up.
No, it sounds good. Sounds good.
Okay. Awesome.
All right, so what do you want to do?
If we have time in this moment, I think Jericho would like to take a kind of like a solo trip out over to Mantis Bay for a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. You definitely have time. As a spell slinger, as a fractal, you can very easily get over there without much problems. So, yes, I will allow it. Where are you going?
To the broadcast tower.
Okay. What are you doing there?
Jericho would like to basically revisit the last place that they saw and like make the promise to Eliza,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of basically in a way fill her in on what just happened. Like JJ is actually like gone, like kind of completely out of the picture now.
Yeah. You you go there. Those familiar dulcet tones of Aerith's theme from Final Fantasy VII kick in. Feels like a lifetime ago we did that scene, and I made Amy cry. Sorry again, Amy, about that.
I'll never forgive you. Just kidding.
And
not the last time either. Whatever.
Yeah, true. You lay some begonias down. And you sit on the little bit of rubble outside the dilapidated broadcast tower. And do you say anything?
Yeah, Jericho would like to say, kind of just in the spirit of what's happening, that hey, I know it's been a long time, and I kind of pseudo said I'd maybe try and drop in more often, keep you updated. Realistically, though, it's been kind of one thing after another since starting the whole nightmare detective gig thing. But shouldn't call it a gig. Not anymore. I love them now. I would do anything for any one of them should they ask. We've gotten really close over the last few months of a whole lot of shit. I came here because I wanted to tell you. If you hear it or if you don't, doesn't really mean too much to me. It's like I want to relay just like kind of the gravity of it happening. JJ is like dead now. He's not pushed through a portal. He's not vanished. He's not plotting the next season of his really shitty torture TV shows. He's gone. And I didn't really know how to really think about it back then. I kind of just thought you were really into like the whole what JJ was doing stuff. The whole church thing with like the little ghost kids really threw me through a loop. You gotta understand. But at the end of it all, when we first confronted him, when we first beat him, you were there with us. I myself and the rest of the Nightmare Tech could call you a friend. You helped us. You helped Muldoon. You helped Faye. And just want to let you know that if you can hear me or you can't, that this chapter of your life, the person who made it hard for you is not here anymore. And a lot more people are better off because of him not being here as well. I brought you some flowers. I don't know. I don't know if you like them. I don't know if you even like flowers. It's kind of just what people do. You're very old. You know that. Anyway, I hope this gives you a level of closure that you may not have had, or you may never thought you needed when all the stuff at Memphis Bay originally ended. I'll let the other nightmare detectives know you're doing good. I don't know where you've ended up. If you've gotten a chance, I may have gotten a surprise visit from Margot. I don't know. But let her know we're doing fine. I hope you're doing fine. We're gonna keep on trying to do some good. And he'll like open up the portal and like leave.
Before you do, you hear a voice say, "Yeah, I don't really like flowers, but it's appreciated." And you turn around, and the building has been restored. And Eliza is standing in the doorway. And she looks a little bit older. And she says, "You been working out? You look a little bit leaner."
Oh, that's what happens when you like reconnected with your actual corporeal form. And that's a long story too. Thank you.
Oh, it's okay. I was there. I know what's happened. I've been watching the whole time.
The whole time?
Most of the time.
Like all okay. That makes me feel a lot better. Like
I appreciate it. And it's nice to talk like this before that door closes, you know? I don't know how long this is possible, but I promised I'd send a message. So that's part of my deal. All I can tell you is everything's about to change. And I wish I could tell you more. I wish I could help you. But you know how this goes, right?
all too well. All too well.
Oh, and Dennis says hi.
It's good talking to you again, Liza.
Yeah. Hey, tell Kruger not to beat himself up too much. He was really good company, but we told him it wasn't his time.
Yeah, it'll take some convincing. He's harder on himself than anyone else, but we'll show him it's not so bad living again. No, it's like taco place downtown that he'll probably love.
Hey, Jericho. You know, no one else is watching right now. It's just us, so if you want to drop the bravado for 5 minutes and just let it out, I promise I won't tell anybody.
Same thing, but for me, this just makes it all easier, all doable.
Okay, well, how about this? The next time you come back here, you bring everybody with you, and we all have a picnic. But only if you do one thing for me.
Name your price.
She smiles as the building begins to fade with her. And she says, "Stop being a pussy and tell Nish how you feel. And don't be afraid to let it all out. Just for once in your goddamn life, let someone else look after you."
All price. But I guess I can do it for you that one time.
And she
Yeah,
smiles.
deal.
She smiles, and the building fades. And the flowers you left fade with it.
Tell Nish how you feel. Okay. Well, I think I'll do that after, fighting the last void and whatever the next person that becomes the first fractal, all that. All right, cool. I've got more things to do on my quest log.
Okay.
And he will make a portal and leave.
Okay. All right. Cool. Flebs.
Yes.
I know we don't have a ton to do with your character this time around. You and I are gonna brainstorm some stuff for.
But we
session
got
Monday.
plans.
But we got plans. And one of them we're gonna start on. So, Flebs is, I guess, like, not barricading himself once again like he did before, but I imagine there is an identity crisis going on right now.
Oh, yes.
And how is Flebs handling that?
Not very well. Flebs likes to contribute, likes to be a part of the team, and in his current state, feels a little weak. So, not very happy about that.
What has he been doing to de-stress?
Pet Julia, play Star Citizen, play some Tekken,
Mm-hmm.
and go out for a massage.
An appropriate massage?
Not
Okay.
not
Understood.
one of those.
Okay. So an appropriate one. Got you. Okay. You've done this for a couple days now, and you've reached that point of, like, fatigue where it's like, you're like, all right, I have now, kind of, not video gamed yourself out, because that's not often a thing that happens, but you need to do something different.
Yeah.
What does Flebs want to do?
Flebs wants to improve himself somehow. Maybe, I don't know what I could possibly do.
Well, yeah, I mean, the power that's within you, so I suppose it's whether or not you want to face that and acknowledge it for what it is.
Yeah, Flebs is going to take a look inside at that feeling he got in that battle. Just kind of explore it, I guess.
Is there anyone you want to call upon, like, to give you advice and assist you? There's a lot of different,
It would have been Lady Death.
Hey, there's nothing saying you can't try and connect with it. We don't know where this is relative to Callista's conversation, right?
Sure. I mean, if that's something I can do, yeah, I'd want to talk to Lady Death.
Okay. How do you do it? Given the way Callista does it is, like, basically astral projection. What does Flebs do?
Flebs will look in the mirror, and because that's when I first saw the skeleton stuff.
Correct. Okay.
Just try and channel that. See if it works.
Let's you know what? Let's have a roll for it. We haven't had a roll in a little bit, so yeah, give me a sharp roll.
No.
Mixed success. Okay. You look in the mirror and you focus for a while, and eventually your body changes. It fully embraces the skull candy aesthetic. And you are not able to change it back. Which is obviously a little bit alarming. It's a bit strange, but you don't reject it, and you don't feel the instinct to reject it. And with that acceptance, you see in the corner the skeletal version of Lady Death. And
Nice.
she says, I did wonder if you would call upon me. Flebs, I haven't got very long, but I wanted to make sure that all the loose ends were tied up. I take it this means you are accepting what you are, who you are.
As much as I wish I was still a normal living guy, yes, I've come to accept this new form, I guess, whatever you would call it.
It's not a new form, Flebs. It's just you. This is who Flebs Taylor is. And the more you accept it, the more benefits you'll find. All you need to do, Flebs, is embrace who you are. Faults and all. Accept what you have and what you can't change. And if you're ready, then I will give you your last gift.
At this point, I feel like I'm ready to accept whatever this is. And I'm ready for gifts. Always ready.
She asks you to hold out your palms with them turned up.
All right.
Give me a tough roll, buddy.
Oh, no.
I'm not going to make you lose any limbs, don't worry. That's okay. This is the worst pain you've ever experienced. You're not going to lose anything. It's just really painful. She's giving you 2 brandings on the insides of your palms.
Ow!
Oh, yeah, no, but it's not a... Yeah. Let's just go with that for the audio. It's an ow, but it is... It's a ear-splitting scream. In your left hand, she is imbuing you with the necromantic flame. In your right palm, she is giving you the ability to control certain dead creatures. Because if I say all dead things, that is a dangerous road I do not want to let Flebs go down.
Yeah, that's... Yeah.
So you will have... Basically, Flebs, you're being given the ability of necromancy.
Ooh.
And when she's done, and your hands are bloodied and painful, she takes her scythe and taps the tip of it against your chest and says, now this move, you can only perform once. You'll know the time to use it. And I trust you.
Okay. I'll keep that in mind, and, hopefully I know when the time comes.
Oh, you will. And Flebs, she's beginning to fade. And you get the impression you aren't going to see her again. for a very long time, at least. Your mother
Yes,
says
Lady Death.
Your mother says she's very proud of you, and she loves you very much. And she goes.
Oh man, it's very nice.
So we have started you on the journey to your final class, the first gravedigger, and well, I imagine the first way you test this is there's like maybe there's like a dead spider or dead ladybug on the floor, and you point your right hand at it, and you tense it like a claw or maybe like an outstretched palm, and you reanimate it. It's not alive, but it's not dead.
Can I keep the ladybug?
Yeah, of course you can.
I'll just keep it in my pocket.
Now, Julia is going to have to reflect this change, though. So Julia is undead. Julia's immortal.
Okay, you know.
The only thing
she's with me.
Oh no, she's with you, but she cannot die. I am making that a law. Unless Flebs goes,
No.
Julia doesn't go.
No.
But I kind of imagined her, the only change maybe being like, not that she's skeletal necessarily, but like, what are those cats called where they don't have hair? What are they called?
Bald cat.
What was that? What was that, Jericho? What was that?
Isn't it a naked cat? Am I wrong?
I thought they had an actual name.
Like a sphinx?
I was gonna say Sphinx.
Hairless.
Yeah.
Hairless Sphinx cats.
Yeah. If you want to put the hair back on, Julia, I'm sure we could do a spell, but I like the idea of her becoming a Sphinx cat.
Julia, you're bald.
She's still a sweetie. She's still adorable. But she is looking more like a familiar to a Grim Reaper, I suppose is the way I would put it.
Okay. That's cool.
And you know that this is sort of the final change that Flebs can go through. You started as an expert. You
became stupid.
Yeah, that's one way of putting it. You became stupid. You became a professional, but it is truly come full circle for you now, as you fully embrace, to the best of your ability, to the best of your understanding, becoming the first gravedigger. And the ramifications of that are still to be seen.
Okay.
All right.
Very nice.
Fala.
Yes.
There's a lot of things that you want to do.
I did have a list.
So...
But we can spread it out if we need to.
No, it's okay. So, the first two things on your list we're going to leave for the next session.
Okay.
On your scribble notes. But in terms of the others, what would you like to do?
Let's see. I guess of the other ones.
Do you want to do the Flebs one, since we just did that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's go ahead and do that.
Okay, Flebs, you have been looking at your new form, and you've been talking to Julia, and you get a knock at the door. And it's Fala.
Hey, am I interrupting anything?
Fala, bear in mind he looks like a gravedigger. That is going to be alarming.
Oh.
He is in full.
Hey.
Oh fuck. Okay.
It's me, Flebs.
Jesus. Jesus Christ. What?
Yeah, you'll get used
What
to
the?
it.
I'll get used to. What do you mean I'll get used to? What the fuck happened to Julia?
Well, she's a bag of bones like me, so to speak.
Okay.
Even how many
am,
hours gotten low?
I am gonna need a bit more than that, Flebs. Because I mean, there's a lot to unpack here, and a lot of it that you're technically not responsible for. But seeing you like this really does kind of make me want to kill you right now too, and so I'm gonna need a little bit more info, I guess.
Fair enough. And I understand. I do look like an enemy, but it's still me.
Well, not just an enemy. You literally look exactly. I mean, let's put it this way: where I come from, people that look like you usually get killed on sight, but they, I mean, literally destroyed my entire life. So getting used to it's going to be a little hard. You're going to have to forgive me.
Understandable. Well, literally 1 minute before you got here, I spoke with Lady Death, and she told me that I need to embrace who I am, and turns out I'm a gravedigger. So, yeah.
So yeah. So what? What? So what is next? What does that even mean? I guess you're just.
Well, it means I'm not living technically. I did get some
Got that part.
new powers that are probably going to be more helpful than just my sniper rifle.
Because you suck with that
here,
anyway.
Check this out. I got this ladybug. What do you know about guns? Who are you, Margot?
I never claimed to be better. I'm just saying you weren't good either.
In the words of the prettiest, in the words of the prettiest member of the
Wow.
Lambda Detectives, wow.
Check
What
this
the
out.
fuck is wrong with that bug? Jesus Christ.
It's
You
a
realize
dead
that's
ladybug.
not
Now it's
alive, right? That
Well,
You're late, buddy. Your cue was 20 seconds ago.
I'm sorry, this thing has 2 switches on it.
Go back to only passively
Victor,
paying
get outta
attention to the
here.
game. Yeah. Victor's no, you know what it is? Victor was walking past and like he's got like a bowl of chili and like he's mid bite and he just looks in the door. Is like, wow, and I was just like, get out of here, Victor.
Victor, leave. Just Fala just slams the door behind her.
I'll give you an update, Victor.
And it through the door.
No, now's not your time.
Deal with you later, Victor.
So yeah, I can reanimate dead, not all dead things, but
That's
a lot of them.
oddly
including this ladybug.
specific. You know you shouldn't keep that, right? That's just a dead bug that you're burning it, weekend at burning. Like, you're a fucking psycho.
Well, I think it's cool.
All right, well,
I was
And
sitting
I
in
also
the
got
keep that
this,
over there.
and
This
I
necromantic
got
flame here in my left hand.
Jesus
just
Christ.
ignites the flame.
Definitely not reassuring
hold
the
on,
safety
hold on,
thing
hold
here.
on. Hey, Flebs.
Yikes.
You
What
Yeah.
did you do?
weird roll right now. You cannot just do. You just got this power, buddy. You
I
are.
had 0 weird.
You are quite literally playing
Yeah,
with
and look
fire.
what you did.
Hey.
Oh no!
God damn it.
Check
got
out this
this.
flame.
Yeah. Flebs, you set yourself alight.
That's a good thing I'm dead.
It's pretty cool.
That doesn't
Oh
mean
my
you
god,
don't- yeah,
you're so calm.
you are on fire and it's spreading, and Julia is running away as quick as she can,
Jesus Christ.
She
Fala
might
be-
break down the curtain
Again,
and like extinguish him to the best.
She might be immortal, but like she gets to get on fire. It's gone to your door, and the door is disintegrated, and Victor is still standing there, watching this unfold.
As I look at the flames, I'm just like, this is fine. I'm perfectly fine with what's occurring right now.
I just turn on the sink and rinse off.
Nope. It's a primordial. Flebs, it's a primordial flame. It's not like a fire from a Zippo lighter. It doesn't work like that.
You wouldn't even go for the shower. You'd go for the sink.
This
Of
is
all
just
the
incredible.
things.
This is incredible. You know what, Victor?
Can Fala grab something to extinguish him? Like either the fire
give me-
extinguisher in the hallway or a blanket or something.
Why don't both of you give me an act under pressure? Flebs
you.
to go to the sink for his primordial flame, and
I feel like that's a -1 to act under pressure.
Fala, yeah, -1 for Flebs, and Fala, an act under
There you
pressure.
go.
And there you go. I want to see what
Enjoy.
Flebs gets. I want to see what Flebs gets first.
They got 10.
Wow.
Sink.
Wow, goddamn.
Victor, you got a 10?
I'm not on
I don't-
roll 20.
Wow. Why aren't you logged in?
It's all better now. We're all here, yo.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Victor doesn't pay attention to the game unless it's Victor's scenes. I see how it is. 13 for Fala and 15 for Flebs. Flebs, you managed to get there, and because you're thinking water, it's like when you train yourself to turn off like a function on your body, like stop looking or stop listening or hold your breath. And you turn the flames off right as Fala has grabbed the fire extinguisher and has just covered you in foam. Head to toe.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
Victor, can I get a clean wow, please?
Wow!
Cool. And at that point, we'll have the everywhere you look, and then we'll just
Smile
freeze
and
frame.
thumbs up to camera.
Freeze frame, 80s freeze frame. Yeah, beautiful. That was beautiful, guys. Okay. Fala, just because like you and Flebs haven't had a lot of time, give me something else you want to do.
Good time,
Let's see.
So yep.
We do.
Yeah.
I guess the only other thing that I would want to do is either go check up on my clinic or go train a skill today, and then the rest can wait.
Let's try a skill.
Cool.
What do you want to train?
I have to go look at my actual chart and make sure that I'm gonna say the right one. Let's go train cool.
Okay.
I don't know who I'd go see for that. Oh, would that be Dr. Good Doctor?
He probably isn't. I don't know
He's
if he's
still
back yet.
still gone, isn't he? I think he's still gone. So we have to go see some.
I don't think he's back yet.
Oh no, he was Charm anyway. He was.
Yeah, he's Charm for charming people.
So who do we see?
Cool. I think the way you train up for cool is going to be exposing yourself to situations that you're not comfortable with. So I think
the conversation with Flebs kind of did it.
No, I think what you need to do is go and see Callista.
More uncomfortable.
Yeah, you need to see Callista go into her calamity mode and be cool with it and not freak out. I mean, you wanted a bonding conversation with Callista. So why don't you do it with Callista and Jericho, both there?
Okay.
So, Jericho, Callista, Fala's called you to the roof around lunchtime when everyone's busy. Victor found out it was all-you-can-eat tacos day, and the cafeteria is struggling. Let's just say they're struggling to meet his demands.
Jimmy's there as well.
Jimmy is also there. Yeah, it's Jimmy and Victor are causing severe chaos, and Flebs is like fucking with the meat, and making it, because obviously meat was once a living creature. Yeah, he's making it move around and dance. So there's a lot going on downstairs. It is not fun. It is not a fun situation.
What a mess.
Yeah.
Flebs is having fun.
What a mess.
Yeah. So you guys are up on the roof.
I stole you guys some tacos before I came up here, though, so...
What'd you say, Victor?
I was about to say, I'm just chugging down drink after drink and saying, this isn't Sprite. Why do you only serve Starry? This is garbage.
Wow. Okay. And then like the cafeteria staff are like, they're all Victor Mendoza's obviously, and they're like, wow, you know, we got this because it's supposed to be your favorite, asshole. You know, you wanted.
No, I said Sprite. Sprite. At what point did I say sorry?
Products.
Actually,
who the fuck paid for Pepsi products?
Actually, you know, we have Starry and we have Pilk. So,
Ooh, go for the pilk.
Why don't you pilk these nuts?
That's
leave.
That's sexual harassment, sir. Sir, that's sexual harassment, and you know, not cool. We're gonna have to call the police. And then there's like an Officer Mendoza, the one, you know, which, you know, is just not cool. You know, he's got slight pig-like features, and he's just like, what do we got here, boy? We got ourselves an unruly Mendoza. Well,
Look, man, ACAB even includes you, Officer Mendoza. I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry. Fuck you.
Victor, roll tough.
Roll tough. Toof. I hate track pens. Oh no.
You get pepper sprayed, and you are tackled to the ground, and you are arrested. Victor Mendoza Prime, you're being arrested with the crime of being a piece of shit. And if I have it my way,
why don't you arrest yourself then?
I'm gonna. He like gets him really close. He's like, "Hey boy, I'm gonna get ice. I'm gonna call him on you. You know that?"
They'll take you too.
No, I'm a citizen of Sturgeon.
I don't fucking care. They'll take one look at your brown skin and arrest you too.
Nice. I'm only brown on the outside.
Can I try to roll weird to try and like use a portal to handcuff him too?
Yeah. Well, it wouldn't be to handcuff him. You would basically be using, so like, yeah, act under pressure, basically.
Act under pressure.
I hope they're having fun.
I hope they're having fun too.
With a +1, because like, don't add the plus obviously, but a 1, because you are the Prime Mendoza. Hey, gang, if Victor is dictating this conversation, I think that's what makes it okay. Just want to make that clear.
There we go.
But, and also, we are both immigrants, just different countries. So, you know. Nah. Mixed success. All right, I will let this happen. But there will be. What do I want the consequence to be? What do you want to do?
As I'm laying down on the ground, pepper sprayed, he tries to handcuff me. I'd like to summon one portal.
Yep.
And as he has one of my hands cuffed, I summon a portal near me, and I handcuff him to me.
Okay. So. Oh, but
then I kick the key off of him. Kick the key away from him. And down into a conveniently placed drain nearby.
Okay, well, you seem to understand what a mixed success means, because now the consequence is that you are now handcuffed to a very aggressive cop racist version of yourself. What a game that we get to play. What a game of imagination we get to play, guys. Like,
just like, yeah, if you're coming as a key falls down the drain into the grates, deep down into the grates, and just like, yeah, now fuck you, you're coming with me.
This is kind of gay, Victor. I'm not really into this.
You're a cop. Everything you do has some sort of homoerotic BDSM implication. I know they train you boys.
Wow.
You're not denying it.
You know what? Can we? Let's get in the car and we'll sort this out. Okay? Let's go.
I'm driving.
Fine. And as you get in the car and you turn the sirens on, it like you hear
Oh my
and you will
God
realize with horrifying levels of anger that I just set that up so I could do a Victor Mendoza siren joke. You were all duped.
That it didn't see coming.
This game, man.
It's also known as the
What a game of make believe we play.
It's also known as the Victimmobile because it's just your head. It's just with lights attached to it, and then like as like you push a button, change the siren, it just starts playing the Pretty Cure theme. And yeah,
Fucking dead.
yeah, off you go. Okay. Anyway, yeah, Fala, you were up on the rooftop.
Anyway.
Can we all just watch it happen from the roof?
Yeah, can we just be like staring down from the roof and just watching at least the tail end of that? And
yeah, you're watching the tail end of it. You're watching the tail end of it, and Endicott is like perched on another building,
no.
and he's got a camera, and he's got like a whole crew, and he's like, "Ah, fucking pigs, look at that, threatening ice, threatening to get rid of one of his own. I got you, little fuckers."
oh, my
Well,
God.
Gladys, he's back to feeling perfectly fine.
And then he looks, he sees you looking at him, and he's just like, "You saw nothing," and then he just disappears.
I'm so glad we're not.
I don't
down
even
there.
know how to. Yeah.
I
Yikes.
don't even know how to come. Oh, Elijah says hi, by the way, Callista. I don't know how to come.
Free taco. Free taco day, man. By the way, I snagged some before that whole.
Jimmy is
debacle
still
went down.
eating
They're
them, by the
over
way. He's just standing still eating.
He's undeterred.
Yeah, nothing. It didn't even get
Jimmy
him.
is not phased, and I don't think Flebs was phased either. I think Flebs just both of them just carried on doing what they were doing.
I can imagine Flebs just looking on like, oh wow.
Wow,
That's crazy.
that's
Yeah.
Look at him go.
Wild.
that's some. Oh my goodness, that's
Here,
police
Julia, have a
brutality.
taco.
Yeah, here, Julia, have some meat. That's some police brutality over there. You see it?
What the actual fuck?
The whole thing.
Now, the moral
Yeah.
question is it police
Anyway.
brutality if it's yourself doing it to yourself?
It's just Victor
I
Mendoza.
don't know if that's a moral question or a philosophical.
Philosophical, yeah.
Yeah.
These interludes
Ethical.
are like the craziest roller coasters that we've ever
Love that.
performed.
They really are.
Yeah.
I hope Victor's having
Every
fun
single
now.
one.
He's driving the Victimmobile, and he's
That's
got
fair.
he's
That's fair.
got a very racist version of himself chained to himself. I think he's fine. Although I did realize actually,
fine.
Victor, how are you driving when you've been pepper sprayed?
Not very well.
Yeah.
Running into
Yeah,
stuff.
erratic
is what
roller
yeah, we just hear
Um,
cars around the corner.
You know what, Victor? Give me
Wow.
one last sharp roll, real quick, with a -1. No,
Probably
no, it'd be a
Yes.
it'd be a -2 because you are pepper sprayed,
Fabulous.
and then we'll wrap that scene up.
Oh,
The
God.
property value of Sturgeon is just gone down and down and down.
Honestly, like Victor gets himself into these situations.
Beautiful.
He does
Failure.
these to himself.
All right.
Yeah.
Victor,
I will
as these are all talking, like you going around the block, you hear like a. You crashed into the local furry convention, and you landed in the ball pit.
Right next door to us, huh?
No, it was like 2 blocks down. Victor was going quite fast, but you landed in the only ball pit in this furry con, and on that kind of fail, you're gonna need to start running because the horniest, smelliest one among the group, known as Patches, he's coming for you.
No.
He's coming for you, buddy.
My God.
Yeah.
Alright,
He saw your lobster suit and he was like,
alright, I start running, but before I do, I find the body of Cop Mendoza. I just
oh, he's dead.
give outfit. Oh, he's dead.
Yeah.
I put out his corpse and prop him up near against the wall.
He died.
then I start
He died on impact. So
Still though, his body is there.
yeah.
His body.
How
Look
did you
back.
get? How did you get away from him? You were handcuffed together and you threw the key into a storm drain.
I mean, it's not too far-fetched to assume that the handcuff just kind of broke on
No,
impact.
they didn't. No.
I saw his hand. Why I thought he was
Yeah.
gonna say.
No, they,
Literally what I just said.
they didn't, Victor. The handcuff, they're pretty good handcuffs. They didn't come off.
Oh, come on. A car crash like that?
Better be
Gonna
quick, buddy.
believe you.
Patches is coming, and he smells absolutely abhorrent. I believe someone is saying in the chat to saw the hand off.
Okay, I saw the corpse's hand off.
All right, give me an act under pressure roll.
Oh boy. Don't fail me, no.
Make
Oh.
success. Beautiful. My favorite kind.
I cut a bit of my hand in the process
No.
trying to reach it.
No. The mixed success means that I let you do it, but there's a consequence.
Oh no.
Oh god.
You can do it, but Patches is going to get you. And he's going to take you away to his dungeon for the night. What happens there is not for this podcast or for any podcast. We don't judge. You will not be the same.
Sturgeon's in a state of emergency. The city's been evacuated, but there's a damn furry con still going on.
Hey, if there's one thing we know about furries, they are resilient people, and I respect them for it.
I also respect the furry community 100%.
Mm-hmm.
In
Not
game and
Patches,
out.
though. Patches is a scary creature. So, Victor, or you could simply just carry the body and get away.
Carry the body, get the fuck away.
Good plan.
Anything's better than Patches.
The last thing we hear before Patches and some other furries come after you is, gotta go fast! And,
But I do drop the lobster suit just to distract them.
You do
as
drop what
bait.
now?
The lobster suit.
Oh,
as
they go.
bait.
They are all sniffing it like ravenously as you go.
Jeez, I'm gonna find that key eventually.
Yeah. Yep. Good luck. So begins the subplot. Night of the Furry Con. Victor Mendoza's daring escape, with Cop Mendoza doing a weekend at Bernie's situation. God bless the furry community. Resilient people. Okay. Yeah, you guys are up. You guys are up on the roof.
Meanwhile,
What kind of game has this been without Victor Mendoza? Honestly,
It would just be sad with that. If Victor wasn't here, it would just be really sad.
Colorless drab
yeah,
one.
for
Victor
sure.
brings out the chaos in me, and that's why I made him stay to the end of this game now.
Love that.
Yeah, on the roof. Let's go.
So Fala just
Oh, okay.
is a solid. Anyway, or he's gonna be okay, right? Like we'll just assume he's fine.
I'm sure he's all. He can make portals.
He's
and
multiversal.
stuff.
He's gonna be fine. He's
There's
got
a lot of
it. He's got
him.
it. We'll check
I'm
in.
thinking about it, guys, and I don't think I care that much.
Oh, that's also fair and valid. We have countless Victor Mendoza. That's fine. Anyway, so I call.
They're just expendable.
Something like that.
I'm sure he's all right. Is what we're doing here related to that?
No,
Oh, you're saying
no,
no.
Okay.
completely unrelated. Actually, that
Alright.
was just
That's ideal, actually.
just
Good, because I would
a
leave.
weird side effect of Free Taco Day. Anyway, so I did call you guys up here for a valid, more important, slightly more serious reason. So sorry for the 180 U-turn, but Callista, I need your help with something, and it's kind of weird because it's also about you, but
All right.
when you turn, I guess more backstory from all the time traveling, but in my timeline, what happened had a lot to do with you in your eldritch form. And so I guess what has been happening lately, and I've noticed, is when I see you transform and do all the eldritch stuff, my brain freezes in a panic, and I don't know how to deal with that, I guess. And I just need to figure. I think the more exposure that I get could help. And I'm just kind of trying to come to terms with that because we're teammates and I don't want to keep projecting all of that onto you. And I know that we can't fix this problem and deal with this entire mess without us being able to work together. And so I guess I called both of you up here to kind of help me deal with that.
Callista, like, I think like a range of emotions go over her expression as you're talking. Like, at first it's kind of confusion, and then it's like surprise, and then slowly it kind of evens out, and she says, yes. I didn't know quite what it was, but I have seen the way you look at me sometimes, Fala. I've been meaning to ask.
And I am sorry about that. I do know it's not your fault. But, yeah, unfortunately, there's been a lot's gone down, I guess, between now and where I come from. It's 50 years of death and plague and God knows what else. But yeah, so I don't mean to project that all on you, but yeah, so it's...
No, I understand.
Yeah.
I mean, this form and these powers, they're new to me. And they scare me as well. Which I'm sure is not much consolation, but...
But it's relatable. You know, why do you think I fuck up time travel so much? It's all new. And anyway.
Right. I mean, I understand. If there is a way that I can help, I will try my best.
Well, so the thought I had was more or less an exposure therapy. You know, the more that someone is exposed to something, statistically, they end up being more accepting, and then ultimately their trauma responses are reduced. And so I was kind of thinking something along those lines of, you know, just the more exposure in less high-pressure situations to the Eldritch form, in theory, would help make it easier. Which is sort of why I called you up here. I know it's not an on-off switch sort of deal, but I was hoping you could help.
So in short, you would like me to scare you?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. That's not entirely what I expected, but...
I mean, with more words and data behind it, but yeah, that'd be very helpful.
Well, I can certainly try. I'm not sure how intense you'd like for it to be, but I don't...
Can we start at like a 6 or a 7 and go from there?
Sure.
I don't know if it's really a dial sort of situation, but, you know, if I could pick.
And Jericho is here, I assume, to...
Hi. Just hit you waves.
Jericho's here more as a confidence booster, I guess, in the event that I pass out of sheer terror. He's at least, you know, here, but also...
Yeah, more support. Well, this feels crazy.
Jericho
I
has
can't
been
stop it.
Yeah, Jericho's here as solid moral support. Just, I guess, you know, if we're getting to know each other, Jericho helps me feel better in a lot of different ways. He reminds me a lot of my brother, I I guess, and I know it's silly.
Why don't we
but
start whispering? He just still by like the edge of the room. What's going on?
Because you're all the fucking way over there, Jericho.
You can come closer. This
You're
is not a
allowed to
private
come
conversation.
forward. It's.
I know I said
yeah,
I didn't like care that much, but like I just want to see,
but
make
you
sure
do
anymore.
care.
I want to make sure, like, no, I just want to make sure, like, no more like furry shit happens like on the road. He stole and crashed a police car. These are felonies.
We're doing a different thing over here. Honestly, I'm sure they've got it.
Jericho,
Fine.
want to be part of the conversation?
I'll be a part of the conversation.
Paula is saying some very nice things about you right now, so.
Okay, I apologize for being concerned about
Being concerned about the felonies.
ramifications of what he is doing.
Endicott
He'll
is keeping
figure
a
it
very
out.
close eye on it, so.
I'm sure
Not
Endicott and the whole
stop.
crew's got it.
He's Jericho like kind of like frustrated. He stops his feet. Endicott won't stop him.
That isn't what we said. We just said it'd be thoroughly documented for later.
Only the police parts will. You don't know him. Like, it's gonna change the story.
Like you pull up a bunch of videos on your phone, and it's just like a series of vlogs, like Alex Jones style, where it's just like good evening. This is Pig Watch with Endicott the Effervescent. In recent news, there was a body cam footage of an oink oink piggy going over to do a dispute with a rogue spellslinger. The spellslinger picked him up, flew him across the building, and splattered him on the wall. I guess you could say it's true that pigs fly.
What is it? Is this a show? Can I subscribe to this?
Do not subscribe to him. Yes, it's his YouTube channel. Do not subscribe to him.
Already done. Sorry.
And
anyway,
then, like, you just see
moving on.
him just go, like, if you subscribe, you may be put on a certain watch list. But it's worth
Too
it
late.
to see pigs die.
Too late.
Bacon, anybody? And then, like, the stream just cuts.
What does Endicott have against swine? I don't.
You're sweet.
That is a different in-depth conversation for later that I am willing to have with you, but we should probably put a pin in it. But you should subscribe. It's good stuff. Anyway, so back to the topic at hand. I do I do need your help, and yes, Jericho, now that you're here and part of the conversation and not staring at Victor Mendoza committing felonies and all the furries, Jericho, you're more here for moral support and comfort, because I don't know how you want to read into this, but your general demeanor and energy, it just, you remind me too much of my brother, and it helps me kind of regulate a lot. So if you could just be here and do your thing, just standing generally is fine.
There's
Great.
just so much damage to public property. Yes, 100%. I'm here for it.
It's all property. It's money. Are you really seriously?
He's kind of associated with us now. It kind of looks bad on all of them.
Well, that's him, and it's a personal decision. And he's, I mean, come on, man.
You're fair.
It's all stuff. Buildings can be rebuilt. Human lives cannot.
You're right. This is your thing. I'm not going to think
You
about
remember,
it.
Fala
Don't
comes
take
from
from my
Fala
storyline.
comes from a place where there are no cops, by the way. Should just mention that.
There are no cops.
Correct.
They're barely any
It's
buildings.
Mad
They're all
Max
dystopian.
bullshit. Like, it is Mad Max on steroids over there. We just deal with it. So, anyway.
Doesn't understand how the world works.
Moving on. So, in short, TLDR. I need you to scare me, and we'll see where we go from there, I guess.
All right.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, Callista, like, I feel like she would take a few steps back, and then she would take a deep breath, and for a second she looks a little bit troubled, but then she would shift up into her eldritch form. Do I have to roll to stay in control of that, or?
No, not this time, because this is Fala's thing, so I'll just let it be a pass.
Okay.
Do I have to roll a thing?
You absolutely do, because you're training.
I
You
figured.
need
Am I
to
rolling
show...
cool?
You are. Okay, it takes you a bit of time, Fala. Seeing Callista turn like that, it just immediately sparks feelings of concern. You just can't help but think about Washin and the rest of your family, and it's just a very disturbing experience for you. But you hold your nerve, and you are able to withstand this, and I'm going to call that a success.
I did it.
So you will
Through
have
tears. Tears.
yeah. You are shaking, and Callista, how does that make you feel?
Not great. Because, I mean, again, I think Callista had already suspected that something was going on. This is actually one of the things on my list too, which is kind of crazy.
Cool.
That she already kind of knew, and literally one of the things on my list was that she was going to ask about it, so this works out good.
Yeah.
But yeah, she feels a little bit conflicted about it, which she'll probably talk to Fala about after this, but yeah, she kind of like looks down at her and spreads out her wings a bit, but obviously doesn't like advance or anything. She just kind of stands still and lets her kind of work through it.
Okay. Yeah, we'll let that be what it is for now, for the sake of time. But Jericho, what about you seeing this play out?
At this moment, Jericho's still kind of like, while he is close now, he's still kind of off to the side, just observing, just wanting to see how, like, kind of just watching Fala, seeing like how like determined she is, or I guess like what, or like kind of just seeing like her constitution in the moment. Like, is she wondering if she's going to like keep pressing this? She's gonna ask Callista to like further transform. He's just kind of observing the entire situation.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We're gonna leave that scene where it is for now. And just I don't know. There's something very poignant about it. And I really like the idea of, like, you know, you're all sharing a moment of joy. But Callista, for you, in the back of your mind, something clicks in. And it's a memory that you don't remember having, of someone else seeing you the way you are now and being absolutely petrified of you. And you can either ignore that or you can explore that memory.
I think Callista, for now, would kind of push it away.
Yeah.
But it like unsettles her.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's a chance to talk to Fala after all this.
Yeah, you can do that now. We've got one more scene after this, so yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Well, I imagine, you know, again, like, she lets her work through it. They kind of, like, the three of them, I imagine, would kind of talk for a bit after. And then, like, as they're walking back downstairs, after Jericho kind of separates from them, Callista's walking with Fala.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, in your time, you said I played a part in what happened there. How big of a part?
I mean, the record keeping post calamity isn't great. So as you know, there's nothing concrete, but let's put it this way: the role that you did play, at least in my timeline currently, is the entire reason that I'm here working with you. And that's the best I've got. And to be fair, the reason I'm back here at all is to try and help with that and mitigate those consequences. But as I was growing up, and the way I was told it was that the eldritch being was the calamity, or at least most of it.
I see. Well, I'd just like for you to know that it's been easier lately, a little bit easier, to control myself in that form. And I believe that while I have it, I will be absolutely no harm to any of you or to Sturgeon itself.
Oh, that... After being part of this team and getting to know you, and the more that I've learned, I do know that, and I know that that's not a concern. And honestly, like I said, I'm like a lot of people have said lately, I'm a fucking anomaly. I'm the girl out of time and whatever. So the whole reason I'm here is to be a kink in the plans, I guess. And so hopefully me being here and all of this will help make that better. And I guess one thing that I do want you to know is that I'm not afraid of you per se, and I do trust you as a teammate and a friend, and I hope that you'll do the same. And I hope that you'll know that I'm here for you as well.
Thank you, Fala. Yes, I do trust you just as I trust all of the other detectives. That being said, and Callista will like stop walking and kind of like turn to face her. And her expression is like really serious. And she says, if I do lose control, if you see me start to lose control, you must understand how important it is to forego your trust in me for a little bit. I will need your help then more than ever before. Just trusting me is fine, but please don't underestimate me, okay?
Fala kind of gets goosebumps at that statement. And just looks at her and, believe me, not for a second since I've met you have I underestimated you. And I don't think I ever could, but I do understand what you mean. And Fala just kind of nods and puts her hand out.
Yeah, Callista takes it and squeezes it slightly and gives her kind of a strange smile and says, "Good. And we have an understanding."
Okay.
Good. Can we get tacos now?
All right.
You feel the building shake, and then
Tacos are all gone.
Oh no. Tacos.
Speaking of Victor, we're finishing up with you, buddy. Which is going to be very fun for me. So, Victor, you've been running, and you've been using your magic powers to, keep Cop Mendoza floating with you, and then you realized, oh fuck, I'm a fractal, and you forgot you have time powers.
Yeah. Just like, oh man. Should've seen those in the beginning, I tell myself.
Yeah, so do you want to maybe use those now? Now that you are... Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. I say, what do I roll?
Okay, so use a weird roll +2. Mixed success, my god. Perfect. So, you are steadily being surrounded, and, you're kind of corner, and you kind of go, fuck this, and, you use the beautiful cadence. Time stops for you, and you are able to, smash the handcuffs, in frozen time. But you hear a voice. Kimi wa watashi no shate ni haita yo. Purikuya Mendoza. Wareware wa hanashi o suru hitsuyo ga arimasu.
Can we get some subtitles in here, I say? Kind of fun hearing that.
You have entered my range, pretty cure Mendoza. And out of the darkness, you see a crown and a pair of gleaming red eyes. And you realize that you can no longer move in stopped time, as a deadly aura surrounds the room. And Bryant comes into view as he says, "We should talk."